Hello, year 4, and here we go with some maths learning. Let me just share my screen with you there. So today we are going to be focusing on multiplying three numbers. Okay, so it might be 2 times 5 times 6 or 4 times 7 times 12, who knows, but three different numbers multiplied. As a quick starter, can you pause the screen and answer these as quickly as you can? You can do these mentally. Don't feel like you have to write them down. Go for it. Okay, hopefully we had answers that look something like this. 9, 9, 9, and 9. Because 2 plus 3 plus 4 is exactly the same as 3 plus 2 plus 4 and 4 plus 3 plus 2 and so on. 5 times 6 equals 30, as does 10 times 3 equal 30, and the product of 15 and 2 is also 30. And we have some quick times tables equations there that also have the product of 24, even though we use a range of different numbers, different factors of 24, that makes them. So let's focus on this to begin with. We have two separate multiplications here represented by arrays. So what is the first one here? What multiplication is that? Hopefully, I had 3 times 2 or 2 times 3, and that gives us 6. And how about this multiplication here? What is represented there? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've either got 4 lots of 6 or 6 lots of 4, and the product of 6 and 4 is 24. So have a think now. That means there are 4 groups of what? 3 times 2 equals 6. So that's one group. So there are 4 groups of something. 6, hopefully we got that. Which means there are 4 groups of 3 times 2. What we can now do is we can fit those in to our array. So 3 times 2 times 4, because 4 lots of these go into here, is the same as 6 times 4. Okay? Don't worry if you're not getting it just yet. Hopefully we can look at another example and start to make a little bit more sense. So, same again. What multiplications are shown by these arrays? What multiplication is shown by this here? I have 2 columns and I have 1, 2, 3, 4. So hopefully you've got either 2 times 4 or 4 times 2. And the product of that is, we can count it if we need to, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How about this array here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Notice how I count this one again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 lots of 8 or 8 lots of 6. It will still give me the same product, which is 48. Let's try and put them in again. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups of 8. So there are 6 groups of 4 times 2. I wonder how many of these groups will fit into the array this time? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I know that 4 times 2 times 6 is the same as 8 times 6. This is just to show you visually all about our related facts, okay? Quick task for you. How many ways can you use all 3-digit cards to fill in the multiplication sentence? For example, you might do 2 times 5 times 3. Or you might do 2 times 3 times 5. See if you can get at least 4 different ways. Go for it. Hopefully you pause the screen. So 2 times 5 times 3, 2 times 3 times 5, 3 times 2 times 5, and 3 times 5 times 2, 5 times 2 times 3, and 5 times 3 times 2. So we've used the starting number 2, and then 3, and then 5, and then just put in the 2 other variations, and that covers us completely there. Okay, what we can also do is we can look at the order where which we most feel comfortable and confident with when we're multiplying 3 numbers. So do you feel more confident doing 2 times 5 is 10 times 3 is 30, or do you feel more confident doing it in this order? 3 times 2 is 6 times 5 is 30, or finally 5 times 3 is 15, and doubling that to give us 30. There's no correct way of doing it. It's the times tables you're most confident and comfortable with, and you can change your order of operations because the product of those 3 numbers will always amount to the same regardless of the order. So which method do you prefer? And then try some for yourself. So pause the screen here and see if you can answer these questions. Don't worry about drawing your visual models. Hopefully, just spend 2 or 3 minutes answering these questions. If you want, you don't have to do 3 times 4 times 5. You could do 3 times 5 and then times that answer by 4. You could do 10 times 3 and then multiply that answer by 6. It's your choice. So make sure you pause the screen and we'll quickly put the answers in after that. So 3 times 4 times 5 is 60. And if you noticed, D is actually exactly the same question, but it's 3 times 5 times 4. That's why it has the same product. I don't know how we've gone from A, B, D, E. I think Mr. Arnold might need to work on his alphabet a little bit, but same product for those two. 2 times 3 times 8 is 48, and 3 times 6 times 10 is 180. So let's do this first question together, and then you're going to set off on your task at applying these. Eggs are put into boxes in arrays of 2, lots of 3. Danny buys 12 boxes. So how many eggs does she buy altogether? Let's do our first equation. 1 box is 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. So 1 box equals 6 eggs. We need 12 boxes. Think about the equation we need to do. 6 multiplied by 12. So how many eggs does she buy altogether? 6 times 12 equals 72. Okay? The bottom one then, it doesn't matter the answer's there already. Danny buys 5 more boxes. So 1 box had 6 eggs, and Danny buys 5 more boxes. So 5 times 6 equals 30. And then our 12 boxes of 72 eggs plus our additional 5 boxes of 30 eggs. In total, we have 102 eggs. So it's just about breaking it down. We could just do 2 times 3 times 12, but read that information carefully. Think about what the question is asking you to calculate, and then do the methods that we know and we're comfortable with. So write 30 as a product of 3 numbers. So which 3 numbers can you multiply together to give you 30? Could you do 10 times 3 times 5? 10 times 3 is 30, times 5 is 150. That doesn't work. But if I did 10 times 3, I'm already on 30, and I've used 2 numbers. So if I multiply that by 1, it will remain on 30. So 10, 3, and 1. See if you can find lots of other ways and reverse the order as well. I've given a couple here. See if you can create some more of your own. So I believe now these ones I don't have the answers for. I will respond with the emails. So here are some digit cards, 3, 5, 6. Use the digit cards to create a multiplication and then work out the answer. You can choose whichever order you put the numbers in. Just make sure you calculate it afterwards. And then how many different multiplications can you create? What do you notice about the product of your answers? If you do not have a dice, you can just use an online dice. There's an application, if you just type it into Google. Kim rolls 3 6-sided dice. The product of her numbers is 60. So what numbers could she have rolled? And how many different ways, again, could Kim have made 60? And finally, a challenge X. In the library, there are 5 bookcases. Each bookcase has 4 shelves, and each shelf has 12 books. Remember, the objective today was multiplying 3 numbers together. Read that carefully, think of your calculation, and your answer is coming up on the next slide now, so make sure you pause the video. How many books are there in the library? There are 5 bookcases, and each bookcase has 4 shelves, so 5 times 4 equals 20. But on each shelf, there are 12 books, so 20 times 12. I didn't use a written method. I did 20 times 10, which is 200, and then I did 20 times 2. I partitioned it. 20 times 2 is 40, 200 plus 40, 240. Well done if you got that correct. Hope you enjoyed maths today. I look forward to seeing your work, and I'll see you for English. Bye-bye.